Ready? We are removing waiting room. Okay, brother.
Om Shanti. So, welcome all of you to the workshop today on faith. And before we begin, let's reflect on a few things about faith. Yes, I have faith in the Supreme, but today from the workshop, let me try to make it 100%. Because, as the Supreme always says, either faith is there or it isn't there. So let me, on this spiritual journey of mine, from today's workshop, pick up some tips and tricks of how to really enhance my faith. And with this beautiful thought, we also invoke the Supreme Being, His presence for the workshop. And also, let me not forget to thank all the facilitators and, very important, all our translators whom we have with us all the time. A big thank you to all of you for your presence as always. A lot of faith we have in the translators, they are always with us. So, with this note, let me just share with you the slides. As usual, we'll be having Sister Aruna joining us after an hour after we finish the exercises. You know we have covered all these. I don't need to again and again remind you of all these. And today is on faith. And today we have our facilitators with us. That is Sister Anu, as usual, joining from Vancouver. And we have also Sister Preeti joining from Delhi. And Sister Pooja also joining from Nagpur, India, to help us in the writing down of the slides. So I'll again share the screen. Today we'll see a very brief video, and if y'all can just tell me what are the insights which y'all have gained from this video. So I'll just share the screen quickly and show you. It is just around 2 minutes, so please, the people who are joining new, I think it's still people are still joining. It's okay, we'll go ahead because you may miss some parts. So I'll just share the screen. Yeah. I hope it's visible and audible. If not, please give me a hands up. Yeah. Right. Amazing. So a 2-minute video can really speak a lot. So if y'all can just start sharing your responses. Again, I would prefer y'all to do it in the chat box because this is a very brief exercise which we do. Anyone? Okay. Even the translators have watched the video, the interpreters, so you're also welcome to put it. Okay. Have people not seen the video or y'all are just very silent? Okay. You'll have to break the ice. At least a few of y'all. Right. Thank you, Geeta sister. I mean, I really owe you a big thanks. You always try to do that and you always break the ice. I've observed that. So it's okay. Let me just read it. Inner. Oh, now y'all are very fast. Now y'all are not allowing me to read. Inner nature and outer nature must work in sync. Right. Okay. Balwinder is saying if we are not strongly rooted with our roots, means 100% clarity, 100% faith, then we can uproot ourselves and damage others. Yeah, so indeed it was about faith. In the meantime, yeah, good. Someone else, it's which, Portuguese, I think it's Manuel brother. I was thinking about the same value that along with faith, this plant or whatever, the flower had a lot of courage as well. It had the fervor inside, the will also to live. So courage and big faith in life. And I felt even resilience was coming in somewhere. Despite it was a heater or air condition blowing the plant, and it was really resilient. Okay, now again you all have to just tell us what Lourdes Doge has typed. And again Yaiza has typed. Pooja's sister is saying the flower had faith that by jumping out of the window it will have a better life. Yes, obviously that was the moral of the story, that the other plant, you remember the devil plant, like we were saying, the one who was already dried, was trying to tell the plant, please go away from this room. And the plant did. Despite falling off from and the roots were dismantled. Okay, Lores is good. Thank you, Manuel brother, for typing it in English. One decision can change everything. Fantastic. Vidhi sister is saying never give up and move on. Wow. And Spanish again, thank you, Spanish translators. You all have written it that fearless determination. Yeah, so the willpower, determination, courage, faith, and fearlessness. So actually, one value really attracts all the other values. Okay, I think thank you all of you all for your sharings, and I really appreciate you for your sharings. Really, thanks a lot. So we move on to the first exercise. Over to you, Sister Anu.
Thank you, Manoj brother. So, yeah, we saw beautiful values connected with faith. So that's a very good start. And let's get into our first exercise. So, understanding the levels of faith. Um, so, faith in life means in multi-layer, right? In many aspects of life, we have faith, then we have confidence, and then we move on. Where the real success is the peace, the happiness that we can get in our life. So that's the other side of it. But in this very first exercise, let's look at the level of faith in the following four aspects. That is faith in the self, faith in others, faith in God, faith in world drama or the situations of life. So, do we have the faith in life? Means in these four aspects. And that's what at Brahma Kumaris we learn um, about checking the faith in all these four aspects. So, I hope you can do that. So, take this four category and then look back at your life and check do you experience faith in all these four aspects. So we'll take about 1.5 to 2 minutes. So faith in the self, faith in others, faith in God, or universe or divine, and faith in the world drama, that everything that's happening in my life is for my highest good. Do you have that faith? Okay, so we'll take about 2 minutes. Please write down on your notebook all these 4 aspects, and later we'll request you to share at least only one, but write down all the 4. So let's take our 2 minutes to write down our faith in all these 4 aspects. Thank you. I hope you all were able to write in all these 4 categories. So, a deep reflection on your own life and check how the faith plays out for you in your life. Do you have that faith and confidence on the self, on others around you in your life, on God, the divine, the source, and on the world drama or the play of life? Okay, so now we will request you to share your points. Not on the chat box. We would request you to unmute and speak. With your sweet voice and vibrations, we'll get your points, and Sister Pooja is going to write down all the sharings, and we'll share it later after the session. So, what you have written down, if you share, that goes as an inspiration for all of us. So we take the learning with us. So BK Arun brother, you ready to share? We'll start with you. Arun brother, can you hear me? I'm audible, right?
Yeah, this is Arun. Can I say something?
Yes, brother, go ahead, please. Yes.
Yeah, I'm not able to see you actually. I don't know why, but yes, I would like to share something. I can put the my experience in 2 phases. One is before coming in.
I think, brother, your bandwidth is not good. So maybe you can switch off your video and speak, then we can hear you.
Yeah, that will be fine. Yeah. Am I audible now?
Yes. Yes, brother, you can go ahead. You can share now. You have muted your.
Before coming into Dhyan and after coming into Dhyan. And outside did disturb me significantly before coming into Dhyan. And the condition, the faith was shaking a bit earlier on, because was not
We'll bear with it. I think brother has some internet issue today.
I look at myself, I realize that here I have to improve.
Maybe brother Arun, you can just type it because you're not audible at all.
Yes, brother, you are cutting off.
Situation has taught how to adapt to the situation, and definitely I end of it that whatever comes to me is good, and the drama is going to give me a right result irrespective of success or failure is no more important. What I get ultimately is
So from the bits we heard, what I can just get is that coming to Brahma Kumari's knowledge and practice of meditation has changed his understanding and faith in the self, that whatever is happening, result may be positive or negative, that doesn't define success, but he feels.
a bit perhaps, so I'm not able to hear you, but you can go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you, Arun brother. Who else would like to share? I have on the chat box, Pooja sister says, faith in God always reminds.
Shanti sister.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, sister, faith in world drama. Like my faith in world drama was. I had faith in myself. I had faith in God. Absolutely, there was no doubt about it. And faith in others. If I had faith in myself, and I trust people easily also. But after Brahma Kumari, I have realized this moment is inevitable. You like right now I'm speaking to you. This moment happened 5,000 years back. Is going to happen after 5,000 years. So what helped me to create my own destiny? You know, I have the power to create my own destiny. There's nobody else. And even if something bad is happening, so that gives me courage. Okay, it happened 5,000 years back. So it's not like a passive witness. I have become more active and more aware, you know.
Thank
So
you.
yeah, thank you, Baba. So this moment is inevitable.
Sure.
That's a lesson that I keep working on all the time, and it really helps. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, that's the faith in the self. This moment is inevitable. Whatever is happening
Inevitable.
is happening for the right reason, and it has happened before as per the knowledge point as you. Thank you.
There's no point cribbing and complaining. You know?
Thank you. I would request others too to share at least one aspect so that many can get the chance. Yes, Geeta sister, Geeta Jumani, you can share, please. Thank you. Thank you, Pooja sister.
Okay. Om Shanti. I have just given a very quick thought. So in very simple words, I'll put it like faith in God, 100%, complete, no questions, no doubt. Self, I had lot of self-doubts. I never believed in myself that I have this. I had kind of curiosity. I had wish to know God, and I wish to study. But now, after studying, somewhere that shifted. and I started getting more confidence that yes, this is me, and this is what I am. Whatever I'm doing, I have complete faith in me that I can do it, and I will reach whatever I am seeking. In others, I do have, because I believe in everybody.
If
Everybody
you can
has.
be brief, that's good. Otherwise,
Yeah.
we are sharing in only one
That's
aspect.
what
So
I'm
thank
saying.
you. Thank you
Okay.
so much. And whatever all of you have written, that's for you. That's really going to be with you.
Yeah.
But let's share only one aspect,
Okay.
everyone. Thank you, sister. Anyone else who would like to share? Maybe others and world drama. We can go for some aspect there. Balvinder, are you there? Would you like to share?
Shanti ji, everyone.
Yeah.
Yes, I love to share one aspect of my life, which is believing in myself. And before this challenge happened, I took a Raj Yoga meditation course, and one of BK teacher taught me, Balvinder, you are powerful. God is with you. You are in combined form. You can do anything in this life, anything. Wow. Is it true? What are you teaching me? I wanted to test this. How I tested that? Immediately after this training, the challenge came to my life was I was supposed to give wedding speech for my daughter, but I was not confident and I was not seeing myself. I have right or I have power within myself. Why? Because going through life journey, I failed my life 2 times. Lots of monster, they were biting me from inside. You do not have any right to stand up and say few words to your daughter wedding in your speech. You don't have any right. But with that one teaching from Brahma Kumari, I am powerful. God is with me. You can do anything, anything, anything. So
Thank
I
you,
said,
sister. Beautiful.
I
Sure. So that's beautiful sharing. So combined, I'm always combined with God or God is with me. That gave you the faith in the self. Beautiful. Thank you. I'll read some from the chart and I will request others to get ready to share, please. Pooja Sharma, sister says, faith in God, always remind myself if God has brought you to it, he will take you through it. Beautiful quote. And Manoj brother says, faith in the drama, have realized that many times because had many untoward experiences, but finally now know that all is eventually good. Though at that moment nothing looks good, right? So we may not see the positive part of it at that moment, but it has always some positive intention result that we can know later on. Veena says, Veena Israni, faith in God takes you through all stages of life and shows you the way. Rosario says, some of the translators can help me with that. Yeah, so Rosario says it could be to believe in God's truth. So believing in God's existence as truth can give the faith in life, that is faith in God. Okay, so that's all we have on the chat box. We still have time, another 2 minutes. We can take few more sharings.
Sister Anu, sorry to interrupt. That Hindi translator Shikha, she got locked off. So if you can just, she's requesting to make her the interpreter. If you can quickly do that, because the host can do that.
So, Brother Manoj, you can take some sharing maybe. I'll need a minute here.
Okay, okay, fine. So let me just, in the meantime, we have already exceeded the time, so if someone else just wants to do a quick oral sharing. I think, did you read this, that it could be believe in God's truth? The Spanish interpreter Olga sister has said that. I think
I
that was
read,
on
I read.
drama.
I think we
Then
still have time, right? Another 2-3 minutes, right? Until 7:30.
iPhone, your iPhone, you have to name yourself. Everyone, life is fluctuating, right? And these virtues have helped me a lot while living in life. Great, thank you. It was good feedback. So faith is also one of the values I'm sure you'll enjoy.
Om Shanti.
Yes, Vijay Bhai, go ahead.
Please accept all my dear brothers and sisters greetings of love, peace, and happiness. Faith, after having a great knowledge of God, 100% faith in self, 100% faith in God, 100% faith in drama, 100% faith in family, and 100% faith in time. Because the underline is drama is kalyankari, it is beneficial. Now, this faith that drama is beneficial makes us stable to go through all the circumstances in life. Challenges are become more after having a great knowledge, spiritual knowledge, but this faith that it is kalyankari makes us so stable, and that is the success in life. So if you can remain stable with a firm faith, it is a kalyankari, I think you are successful in life. Om Shanti.
Thank you. Thank you, Vijay brother. So I think we got some points in all the 4 categories. Maybe we can wrap it up if Pooja sister can show. So for the self, we got a lot. In others, we got only 1. We can still ask somebody to share anything on others, but for self, the knowledge of the self, true self or meditation has changed to have faith in himself. Never believed in myself, but shifted and had confidence and faith in the self. Knowledge, again, it is the meditation or self-knowledge, knowledge about the true self has helped in having faith in the self. And she could give the wedding speech for her daughter, which she never thought she could do. So somebody just shared for others, 100% faith in others. So maybe we all have to check this category. Do we have faith in others? And if so, what is the percentage or how does it look like? For God, faith in God, always remind, each of us, we can take it that if God has brought me to it, he will also take me through it. Faith in God takes you through all stages of life and shows you the way. It could be to believe in God's truth. So if we believe in God's truth, that is having faith in God, and that is where we can pass through life easily. World drama, having faith, is to realize that situation may look negative or bad at that moment, but it has come around that it was always for the good. So faith in situations of life. And again, after getting that knowledge or meditation or knowledge about true self, the faith in drama made realize the soul that you have the power to create your own destiny. And drama is always benevolent. Thank you so much, Pooja sister. It's 8 a.m. as planned. Thank you very much.
Okay, so thank you, sister, and thank you all for your sharings. And as you all can see that the most easiest faith is in God. All of you do agree. And the most difficult one would be in the drama, because at that point of time it's difficult. Why is it happening with me? That's a big question mark which comes all the time. And then I think another one which also people challengingly mentioned is the self followed by others. So the easiest is God, I feel. Okay, so before we move on to the action planning, let's spend a couple of minutes in silence. I'll take you into a little bit of meditation mode. And this exercise is actually in preparation for the next exercise, like how to adopt various faithful ways at workplace or at home. So let's begin. Take a few deep breaths in and out. Relax your mind and body. And let us start with the first beautiful thought of faith in God. I believe that God is the Almighty Authority, and He is always the one who takes care of me in every adverse situation. So let me hold on to this one support, the eternal support of God all the time. And ask myself that can I also have faith in others, particularly at home or workplace? And the answer is a big yes. So let me look at myself for the coming week and see how I can incorporate my this value of faith in others at home or workplace. So with this, let's move on to the next activity by Sister Preeti. Over to you, Sister Preeti. I hope you are around because I can't see you. Okay,
No,
here you are.
actually, my
Okay,
video was off.
no problem.
I was here only. Yeah. Thank you so much, Brother Manoj. And now we are moving on to next exercise, that is the action planning. So I'm sharing my screen. I think it is visible to all.
Yes, it is. You just have to make it full screen. Yeah.
Okay.
Is it easy to make it full screen or you're fine?
Is it okay?
You just have to make full screen. Okay, this also is fine. Just carry on with the exercise, no problem.
Okay, let me carry on with the exercise. Um so basically, this exercise is on action planning, and we have to reflect on ways through which we can demonstrate faith in our activities at home or workplace. Before we begin with this exercise, I would like to share my personal experience. Like where I'm working in a hospital, there the NABH assessment was due, and there were two staff members in the team whom nobody believed in. So they were thinking that the plan was management planned, like they would be put in night duty. They would not be able to face the assessment when the assessors are there because they never believed in their actions and their behavior. But just a day before the assessment, somehow I felt that they were very talented and genius kind of people. It's just that, some things were overshadowing their original talents. So I discussed with the management and we decided that we'll keep them on the team on the day of assessment. They will be present and they'll face the assessment. And they did remarkably well. In fact, nobody believed that they would perform so well, and their behavior was so good. So sometimes, if you keep faith in others, then it gives you good results. So that was my personal experience. In fact, I would like you to ponder over any such experience you had in your life, or you think of doing something in future. You can think of, and then we can have the sharing from you. I have not prepared any background music. If Anu's sister, you can play any background music for them to
Okay,
just spend
sister, I can do.
1 or 2 minutes in silence.
To also do the sharing of the PPT. So if it is okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, yeah, that would be good. I hope everyone has understood the exercise. We have to think of the ways how we can demonstrate faith in our activities. S- So, I think we are ready for the sharings. Some of the people have shared something in the chat. So, we can we can take this sharing now. If somebody wants to share orally, they can unmute themselves and share. Anu sister, I think we can stop the music now. Somebody would like to share orally. We have few sharings in chat, but before I read them, I would like
हाँ जी
somebody to share orally.
Om
हाँ
Shanti
जी
Didi
दीदी
ji.
ओम शांति हाँ जी
So,
दीदी हम जैसे ही हमारे आसपास जो हैं हमारे लोग हैं जो जिनको हम अगर हम एक्सेप्ट करते हैं हाँ जी उनको हम एज इट इज हाँ हाँ जी हम सोचें कि उनका भी अपना रोल है इस ड्रामा में हाँ जी हाँ जी हाँ हम अपना
right, very
विश्वास
nice. We
बढ़ा
have to
सकते हैं और
accept others as
अगर
they
हम
are.
उनको एक्सेप्ट करेंगे
Anyone
तो
else?
हमारे ऊपर विश्वास करेंगे
Om Shanti Didi ji. Hello, Om Shanti.
Go ahead, Vijay bhai. I think just hold on. I think Preeti's sister I can see is frozen, so maybe there's some problem with the. Is it frozen? She's frozen, right? I can't see her moving at all. Okay, yeah, go ahead, Vijay bhai. Yeah.
Om Shanti and dear brothers and sisters, please accept my greetings of love, peace, and happiness. I have a faith that I every time start with these beautiful words of love, peace, and happiness because it makes me happy, and I think all of you also become happy. I have a faith in this workshop. Wherever I am in the world, I attend these workshops at any time because I have a faith that we get something inner peace, inner love, inner happiness, and all the participants. I have a faith they also feel the same way. So the main faith is after having a knowledge that everything is Kalyankari, we are going through a very good time. Although it's a Kalyug time, but in Sangam Yug, we are having the best time. So God bless you all. Thank you.
Yeah, Preeti sister, go ahead. You can unmute and speak. Yeah.
Okay. So I have faith in God. That Spanish interpreter has written, I think he has interpreted for someone. I have faith in God, Father, friend. I connect with God to find my inner peace and to develop my virtues and clean intellect. Then Kanta says, when we accept them as they are, Vidhi said not to interfere in the task. Somebody is doing the task, we should not interfere. That's good. Through communication, delegate properly, accept the mistake, lead by example, don't be stressful yourselves, take the strength from Supreme Soul and create right Vayumandal. Very nice. Uh, Manjeet Patel has said, Om Shanti everyone, we get to live our lives in a positive way with confidence and faith in our Baba. Faith in collaborating and sharing instead of competing. Very nice.
Oh, Om
Anybody
Shanti.
else? Yeah. Anyone else who would like to share? Pooja Sharma has said, had faith that colleagues would manage the work in my absence when on leave. Very nice. So, anyone else? We can take, we have 1 or 2 minutes more if somebody wants to share. Anyone else?
Sister
Uh,
Mohinder Kaur, you want to share from Surrey?
Yeah, the full faith in Babas and in the faith in yourself, and the drama is making you powerful.
Okay, thank you. We actually speaking about faithful ways. Yeah, we have 2 more minutes left. So we would request the people who haven't so far
जी,
shared, we would
sister.
request the others to say. Sister Kanta, you have to share in English because it's an English workshop. The other regional
हाँ जी,
languages you can't share in. Yeah, okay, sorry for that.
हाँ
Yeah.
जी, हिंदी में बोल रही हूँ दीदी, मैं हिंदी में।
नहीं नहीं हिंदी नहीं बोल सकते हैं because it's
हाँ जी,
for
नहीं,
English
हम
workshop.
अपनी बातें किसी के ऊपर थोपे नहीं, जैसे हम, हाँ,
Okay, so I'll just translate
अच्छा,
what she's saying,
ठीक,
that we don't unnecessarily put things on others,
आप,
and thopna means just put onto them other
हाँ
things what
जी,
they
हाँ
don't
जी,
want to. And she also said in the first thing that accept people as they are in the drama of the life because everyone is playing their own role. So that's what she
जो
said.
है
So thank
जैसे,
you, Kanta sister. Thank you. Yeah.
यस,
Okay.
I, I feel there is. I
Yeah,
feel there.
go ahead.
I feel there's positivity in every person. So as we look at others, like before we try to think, what they have done in the past may be something which is probably my impression. But everyone is born with a quality. If I tell him through my body action, through my words, or through my vibration, that you are my helper, you are with me, we are together, that much of assurances and the confidence in a person will definitely help me to get the work done by the person. Thank you.
So maybe Preeti sister, you can just wind up in the last minute. It's already time. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So overall, I think we have got that point that we have to accept others as they are, and we should look for positive aspects. Like in my personal experience, which I shared, there also I saw other aspects which were overshadowing the things. So we should look for the positive aspects that will help us building faith in them. And I think Vidhi Bharwani also just shared right now. Om Shanti, everyone. If newly joined, acha, this is another thing. Okay. So Pooja sister has already shown on the screen not to interfere in the task through communication, delegate properly, accept the mistake. If they do the mistake, accept that and lead by example. Don't be stressful. Take the strength from Supreme Soul and create right Vayumandal, right atmosphere. Had faith that colleagues would manage the work in my absence. So that is also like you feel that they are it's not person dependent. Create trusting environment. Start with words of peace, love, and happiness when speaking. Start on a good note. So when you speak with others and interact with them, you can start with words of peace and love. We get to live our life in a positive way with confidence and faith in our Baba. Faith in collaborating and sharing instead of competing. See positivity in every person. Demonstrate faith, not other, and strengthen your internal force, and it will flourish. So overall, it was a very beautiful exercise, and we have got so many points which we can put our faith into action in our work and at home. Thank you. So we conclude this activity, and I hand over to Brother Manoj again. He will share the summary.
Thank you, Sister Preeti. So, though we all have faith in all those four things, we probably don't have faith in our internet bandwidth. Do you agree? Because it always tests us. Always these. I'll come to the sharing which Meera Didi shared about tests of faith. This internet bandwidth is nothing. Actually, it's just such a small thing in our life. Well, so I think we have Sister Aruna with us already. We can see some name by her name. So I hope it's that same sister. And I'll just take the next say around 13-14 minutes to share the screen, and before I forget, if there are new people who have joined this workshop for the first time, please share your WhatsApp email addresses and WhatsApp numbers so that we can keep you updated and send you all the materials. Okay, so let me just take you through the journey of last Sunday, what Meera Didi told us. Oh, again I miss it. Right, okay. So faith and doubt, in Hindi, beautiful two words, Nishchay and Sanshay. It's all connected to the intellect. That's what we are taught in the Brahma Kumari's teaching. And Didi pointed out this very beautifully, that whatever we hear, if you can look at the last line, as I tell you, I'm not going to read each and every line. So the last bit of it, whatever we hear from our sense organs, particularly the ears and the eyes, what we see, it is information. And once we start processing that inside, it becomes knowledge, and then we are our own judges what to do, whether to use that or not. So it's a judgment which is coming, and then knowledge, when used appropriately, becomes wisdom. Therefore we say that a wise person is basically working through his knowledge, whatever knowledge base he has. So Didi was trying to just again and again point out that a person who's got faith, the faith develops from the intellect, it is not from the heart. That's what she was trying to distinguish all the time. Something which comes from the heart is more of what we call loyalty and trust. That was in the question and answer which was asked to her. Didi said that there are two types of faith, particularly in India. There is a lot of blind faith and superstition. People just sort of think each and everyone is God, or even the trees are God, or even the stones are God. So it is all blind faith. And second faith is, which Didi was stressing, based on understanding. Who am I? And based on knowledge. So knowledge based faith is more important. That's what she was trying to stress. 4 pillars of faith I won't cover. You all have covered that in the exercises very well. But here let me tell you, Didi pointed out another one, having faith in time. Like if you can look at this picture here, I'll show you with the pointer if I can probably do, yeah. So if you can see this picture, this is the picture telling you the time cycle, where we are in this at the moment, going through a lot of upheaval outside. We call this as the confluence age for people who are new to the knowledge of Raj Yoga, because whatever is happening outside is basically a preparation for the new age, the new world to come. So having full faith in the time is equally important. Right, let me move on to the next one. Faith in God. Many things you all have spoken about. I'm sure Aruna's sister also will touch upon that a lot. One thing which I liked, which Didi said here, is it is a common misconception that Buddhism doesn't believe in God. They only believe in meditation. But that's what Didi said, that Didi is working in Malaysia. I mean, she's serving that area of the country where there are a lot of, that area of the world where there are a lot of Buddhists. So she met a Buddhist monk, and asked this question. So that person said that Buddhists do believe in God, but they do not depend on God. Like, so it's again really, they believe in the karma philosophy, which all of you know very well, that whatever you do, whatever seed you sow, will reap in future. The next faith is in yourself. You can identify the person in the picture who's there. I leave it up to y'all. And she got these Eves. Believe, whatever you believe in, you conceive it, because it starts happening inside. Conception or conceive is basically actually giving birth in the medical terms. But whatever we start believing, that starts happening in our head. We start processing it and we start giving birth to those new ideas, and then finally we achieve them. So this is what Didi explained here. And for this, the primary quality which we need to have is having confidence, particularly in the self, which all of you all touched in the faith in the self topic. Faith in the drama, as I said, this is the most difficult one to uh, uh, develop. It doesn't develop as soon as, I mean, as the ones like faith in God develops and faith in self, because we see that particularly in this age what we are going through, lot of tough times and lot of karmic accounts are being settled with people. So you just don't know what is happening with you in your life. And sometimes it is seen, many spiritual people feel that when they start walking on the path of spirituality, their life starts becoming more and more tough, which means they are really, a lot of people start taking their exam papers in one way. It could be sanskar clashes, it could be economic crisis. So they go through a lot of tough times. So it is like the last, as I said, this will touch upon faith in time. This is the last time of the cycle, and all the karmic accounts will be settled. So all that which we have done in the past, which we really don't know what we have done, will start getting settled. And she said that therefore see everything in the drama, that whatever is happening for the good, and practice these three things: introversion, patience, and tolerance. So I go on to the next, faith in time. And Didi mentioned here that time and God are the best healers, because I remember in the question which was asked that both are best healers. So who should be the best for us? Should we just wait for the time to heal, because that's what is said in English, that time is the best healer? But in our spiritual teachings here, we are always taught that don't wait for time. They say in Hindi, intizar mat karo, which means don't wait for time, but intizam karo, which means make preparations for you to become complete and perfect on your spiritual journey. So let God teach you how to become perfect, and God help you rather than the time helping you. Then Didi mentioned about this word called recognition. So she said that both these, faith and recognition, are the two sides of the same coin. So if I have recognized God, I know who God is, then I can develop full faith in Him. And obviously, this comes from the intellect, but also she mentioned that recognition and developing that bond, the love, whatever bond you have with God, it comes from the heart. So, though we always try to technically define faith coming from the intellect, but obviously it starts from the heart, because love always comes from the heart. Didi mentioned here the triangle of faith, and this triangle is these three things. So first, all of us are on this journey trying to seek who am I, who is God. So we are trying to look after what knowledge is, that is seeking. Second is, once we get the knowledge, then we start practicing it. So that's the second aspect. And after practicing, all of us become experienced. So that's the third aspect. And that's what, again, here in the spiritual teachings we are taught, that try to be an embodiment of experience. That is, Anubhav ki authority bano. That's what in Hindi we say. Anubhav is experience in Hindi. Yeah, a beautiful slide. It shows what are the signs of a soul or of a person who has a faithful intellect. I have written it down in Hindi because all of them start with na. Okay, so they'll be carefree, nischint. So just let me tell you that we have chosen the next value for the next 15 days on being carefree or having a carefree attitude, because you can only have carefreeness if you have faith. Otherwise, it's difficult. Everything is nishchit, which means certain. Whatever, if you have faith, victory is for sure, success is for sure. It will make you fearless, and you will have lot of intoxication, nasha. And if you have lot of intoxication, then your nishana is in front of you, which means what is my aim? My focus on the aim will be perfect. So these are the signs of a faithful intellect. And as I was mentioning you that the internet bandwidth is nowadays in this age testing our patience and testing our faith. But Didi mentioned about these 5 tests. The first one is about the body getting ailments, we falling ill. It's all a settlement of karmic account. And what we are taught here is to convert that severe karam bhog, which means the pain of the illness, into karam yog. And we can do that only by meditation. Second is, as I told you, relationships. It's people all the time coming in your life, your sanskars clashing with them. So that is where your faith is tested. Third is finances, that I said, the economic crisis which can happen anytime because the world is full of uncertainty outside, and with anything going on, either it's the COVID or it's the war, obviously the share market and everything goes up and down. Yes, then very important is the nature, the 5 elements of nature which will come in the form of upheaval, natural calamities, and they will test our patience and how much faith have we got in God. And I think the last of all, but not the least, the sanskars of ours, the old sanskars, the old patterns which we behave through, that is a big test for our faith. And Didi mentioned this, I will just quickly finish this, that what is the difference between victory and success. So Didi said that success is for those small things which we achieve, and victory is something that it's the end product, it's the medal which we get. So in Hindi we call victory as Vijay and success is called Safalta. So she said that, beautiful quoting, she said that faith is the foundation and success is the destination for that. And you cannot achieve success unless you have faith. So we call Nishchay Buddhi Vijayanti in Hindi. And these are the ones, again, as I said, B, C, and A. Believe, conceive, and then you can achieve. And I'll just take a few questions. Should I have faith in God or trust in God or both? So Didi said first have faith, and then when it becomes a recognition that yes, I have identified God, who He is, what are my relationships with Him, then a trust will be built. And most important question is rather than me trusting in God, she said, ask yourself, is God ready to trust you? A very high level question. I will just stop sharing you because I think my time is up, and I'm sure I don't want to pinch on Sister Aruna's. I hope she's there around. Anu sister, is she there? Because I can't see her. Yeah, here you are. Thank you. Okay. So before I give it to you, just a moment, I have to introduce you and recite a poem as well. Is that okay? So all of you know Sister Aruna very well, and you know that she's a very active blogger. You can go on the website It's Time, and there are many books she's written on it. 8 books. They all start with It's Time. It's time for change. It's time for relationships. And she has this beautiful blend of the East and West culture because she's into knowledge for almost 40 years now. And what I feel about her is, like, though she was supposed to do a talk for us, for some reasons we are not able to get her last time. She was all prepared for that. She wanted to do, but it's all the divine drama. So here we are. We have to have faith in the drama. So I asked her that, please, your talk is pending, so can we ask Faith? She said, yeah, why not? So she's always very approachable and always Hanji ka part, always says yes. So let me just say a few words for her first before I go on to the poem on faith. That Sister Aruna is instrumental for serving the Middle East, and all of us know her talks for the soul are a beautiful feast. Listening to those motivates us to remove from within the beast. Implementing values in our lives is what we can do the least. Otherwise, it's like baking the bread without adding the yeast. So let me come to a few lines on faith. It's a beautiful virtue because I feel when we did the spiritual revisions on Murlis, there were so many Murlis is the spiritual versions which we have here in Brahma Kumaris. It was so many of them. So faith is indeed the foundation that doesn't ever freeze. It makes our bonding strong without any crease. It sets me free of any burden, like I have released from the lease, because I have found in life that faith works like golden keys, golden chabi in Hindi we say. Then in my dealings, I don't have to keep saying, please, please. Weaknesses then depart and come to a cease, and every small opportunity for me is then to seize. And finally, my energy is thus conserved, not ready to squeeze at every small thing. So with this, I would request, thank you immensely once again. I think you're joining from Cairo. You can tell us all that, where you're joining from. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Manoj Bhai. Always a very gracious welcome. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. So yes, I'm in Cairo. We're renovating the center here, and it's pretty hot already. So yeah, let's contemplate on faith. So faith, as we know, we often say that love can move mountains, but faith can also move mountains. And even as you say the word faith, it's such a powerful word, even just to say it. It's like it conjures up, image of, well, what are the synonyms of faith? It conjures up images of can-do, motivation, dedication, perseverance. You believe, right? When you have faith, you believe. Faith can also be to depend on, to rely on, and also to recognize someone. When you say that you have faith in them, you recognize their skill set, their values. Faith in you could mean faith, like I confide in you, I trust in you. And so, some time ago, there was a COP, a talk at a COP meeting, the COP summit. And it was an interfaith dialogue in which they were actually talking about knowledge faith and soul faith. So knowledge faith is that which is fact-based, information-based, or as we might say, head-based. Whereas soul faith, I think we can all agree that soul faith is really about using spiritual powers, being more loving, being more caring. And I'll come to caring later, and how we develop faith whilst we care. Spiritual faith is about not having doubt. It's about assurance. It's about taking responsibility. So in essence, really, spiritual faith encompasses, right, many things. It's not just one word. When I say I have faith in you, I feel you're responsible, you're capable, you can do it, you're powerful, you're strong, right? Just you think of when you use the word faith for others, and what are the synonyms that go with that? What are the similar words that go with that? So that's why I'm saying it is a very powerful topic. And I know that Miraben took up a lot of aspects. So my challenge was to try and give you something different, because the last talk covered a lot about faith in the self, faith in God, faith in time, faith in karma. So I've got a number of stories today to tell you, to share with you. And through that, hopefully we will all learn together more about faith. So one of the most famous stories of India actually is the story of Mira. So Mira, they say, lived around 1500s, And she's remembered as a mystic, as a poet, and a very devout devotee of Lord Krishna. Now, the thing is that she got married against her will to a crown prince, and then her husband died a few years later in battle. And a few years later, her father-in-law died, and also her father died. And she was kind of left alone. And all her in-laws started to conspire against her. And they tried many ways of assassinating her, of killing her. But she still had this very strong love for Krishna. And so even though they would send a glass of poison, or poison in some whatever, milk, water, whatever, it wouldn't affect her. And even though they would send her a snake in a basket, but that snake would turn into a garland of flowers. So again, it wouldn't affect her. So nothing harmed her, because they say that because she was so in love with God that she had this protection of God's hand. So one is the faith, one is the belief that really he will protect, and he really did. And the similar story is, again, from Bharat, from India, of the Pandavas and the Kauravas and the big Mahabharata war. So anyway, the whole Mahabharata is very big. We won't get into that, but just the essence. The essence is that the Pandavas had only Krishna by their side. And Krishna also vowed not to pick up a weapon. He said, I will not kill anyone, but I will be there, I will guide you, and I will even drive your chariot, he said to Arjuna, one of the Pandavas. And yet the Kauravas had a huge army and a lot of allegiances to the neighboring kings, the kingdoms. But at the end, who wins? It is the Pandavas, who have unbroken faith in their mission, in their victory, in Krishna. So lots of stories, as I said today. There's also another story in Catholicism, in the Catholic tradition. And this story is about, it's called the miracle of Lanciano. And this took place in the 8th century in the city of Lanciano in Italy. And apparently what happened is there was a monk who, in this case, he didn't believe that there was the presence of Christ. And he didn't believe that Christ actually said those words. They call it the Eucharist, which is that Holy Communion, the gathering, also known as the Last Supper. So in this case, he didn't, well, he wanted to believe, but he couldn't believe, let's say, sometimes we want to believe, but we can't. And so what happened is that when he found himself at a communion, then he started to share these words, the same words that Christ had also mentioned. And the words were that the bread and the wine changed into flesh and blood. And as he mentioned that, then literally the bread and the wine changed into flesh and blood. And actually the Catholic Church actually claims that this was authentic. So it's again about, okay, I'm saying he didn't believe, but he wanted to believe, and I guess he had to be shown. And so he was shown that, yes, this is true. Another story is, again, many of the Indians maybe have heard of this, and it is about the Pandit who sits by the river and he tells everyone, oh, you don't need a boat. You just say Rama's name, Rama, another name for God, and you just walk on water and you will get across. And so everybody has so much faith in this Pandit, in this priest. And so they believe him and they go across easily, no problem. Then one day what happens? There is a fire on his side. The forest begins to roar with fire. And people on the other side tell him, well, come, just say the name Rama and you will come across. And he himself doesn't believe in this story. He doesn't believe his own words. And eventually he dies. So those who believed, they went across. Those who didn't, and then I'm sure you all know this story, but again, it's always very nice to be reminded. And the story is that there were these villagers who had decided to pray for rain. And so they decided to all come together and pray together. But what did the little boy do? The little boy brought an umbrella. Because he felt that, yeah, I'm going to pray and it's going to rain and I'm going to need the umbrella. So how many of us live with this conviction that when we really believe, it really works and God will provide? And I'm going to come to some of my personal stories. Okay, next story. Story is about a sculptor. A sculptor. So he actually did sculpting, but what happened is slowly in this village, this art started to die. And many of the sculptors, they moved and they told him also, pack up your business and, forget about it. But he kept doing the sculpting. And then when his son was born, he started to teach him in his spare time. And he actually told his son, he said, look, son, we may not have business at the moment, but you know what? One day somebody will recognize our work and then there will be no turning back, no looking back. And sure enough, he was the only sculptor left in town. So he was the only one who had these idols, right? These images, idols, everything he sculpted. And so what happened? One day a businessman came along and he saw his work. And he said, oh my gosh, this is amazing. How did you do this? And he made a deal with the sculptor. He said, look, you make the work and I will sell it abroad. And they said, great, it's a deal. And so again, his faith, his belief, and I think many of us have experienced this in our life where things don't work out, but we just have to have a bit of patience. Faith also means be patient, persevere, dedication, so that with time, your faith, because the faith needs time to kick in. It's like a cake that needs to bake. It's not just suddenly I have faith and then it happens tomorrow. No. You can say that somebody's mic is on. So you can say that faith needs brewing, or faith needs baking, or faith needs cooking. And I just have to have that powerful thought that it can happen, it will happen. And you know what? Sure enough, it does. Okay, there's another story of the Quran, the Holy Quran, in which, and I often share this in my talks, and it says that first tie your camel and then leave the rest to God. So what does this mean? This means that first I have to do the work. I can't just leave it to God and say, okay, God, I'm going to sit on my chair, on my couch, and you're going to make it happen. No. Faith is not passive. Faith is active. People think faith is passive in that I just need to have faith. I just need to sit here with my my hands crossed and things will happen. No. I need to make them happen. So it's a bit like collaboration with God. When I engage, when I decide that this is what I want to do, then God also chips in. It's like God is saying, okay, for whatever one step you take, I will put in 100 or 1,000. And so God does his bit. So you get going, you get inspired, you start it, and then God will help. And this reminds me of that story. I'm sure all of you have heard it, right? About, it's a bit of a different angle though. But it's the story of this man who, he goes hiking in the forest, and it starts to rain. So he decides he's just going to stay in one place under some rocks. Next day, the rain stops, but it's quite foggy. It's foggy, and what happens is he's walking and he doesn't realize that it's a cliff, and he falls off the cliff. And as he falls off the cliff, he happens to hold on to some branch. So yeah, he shouts to God and he says, God, help me, help me. And what does God say? There's a voice from the ether, and the voice says, okay, let go of the branch. And he says, no, how can I trust you? He said, well, if you don't let go, you'll never know. He said, just let go of the branch. He said, no. So what happens is he's holding onto this branch, and then a snake comes along. And the snake bites him. And then, of course, he has to let go. And he falls only 3 feet. The ground was only 3 feet from the branch. So now he starts to run. He sees the village and he starts to run. And luckily the village people see him, and he shows them he shows them his bite, and they take him to hospital. He almost faints. And he says, oh my goodness, God was telling me to let go of the branch because the snake was coming. But see, he said, despite me believing in him, he still saved my life. So what I want to add to this story is there's no point having faith after, right? When something happens, having delayed faith, it doesn't work. There's no point. Okay, we might learn the lesson. We have learned the lesson so that next time we have pre-faith, not post-faith, right? Not faith after the event. That's not faith. Then the truth has been revealed, the drama's been revealed, the scenes have been revealed, the outcome has been revealed. Then that's not faith. You can't say, I knew, and that's why. No, we all knew, no? So faith is always before the event. Faith is facing the unknown. Faith is facing those challenging situations and not knowing the outcome. Okay, so let's talk about outcome. So here's another story. So here's a story of, again, a man who was out in the desert. And what happens is he had only one bottle of water, and he's walking and he's lost now. As always, one gets lost in the desert. His water's running out, and then he sees what looks like a hut in the distance. So he begins to walk towards this hut. As he enters the hut, he notices that it's a bit run down, abandoned, for a long time, that nobody's there. But he's surprised to see that there's a hand water pump. So he has to just, push the pump and all the water will come out. And it looks like all the connections are there, the pipeline is there, but at the moment when he starts pumping, there's no water. So then he starts searching around the hut to see if there's a switch or something, you know, something has to press. And there in the corner, he finds a bottle of water. And there's a note with this bottle of water. He wants to open the bottle, start drinking, but as he does, he reads the note. He reads this piece of paper, and the piece of paper says that please use this water to start the pump. It works. After you have done that, then do not forget to refill the bottle again. And now, I mean, what would you do? What would you do if you are in such a situation? You're dying of thirst. You're not sure if this is going to work. It's your last drop of water. Should he just throw this down into the pump? So again, a leap of faith. And he decides, okay, I'm going to trust these words. I'm going to trust the process. And he throws that water down into the pump. And lo and behold, the pump starts working. There's some bubbling sound, and then he presses, and there's such a relief on his face. But again, as I said, what would we do in such a situation? So again, just to finish the story, yeah, he fills the bottle again with water, he puts it in the corner, and again, he writes on it. Now with faith, you see, he writes on the note, it works. Because now he's been proven. He says, have faith, it works. So this is my point also, that, you know, many times our faith is tested. And when it's tested, we shouldn't think that it doesn't work. We shouldn't think that, I mean, let's say opposite of faith is doubt. We shouldn't doubt. Because if we doubt, that's not faith. Actually, another question that often comes up when I give such talks is it full faith or is it a percentage of the faith? If you have 10% faith, is it faith? Or do you need to have full faith? Anyway, I leave you with that. Okay, so I want to come now to a bit of modern day publication. And so many of you must have heard of Simon Sinek. And Simon writes in his book, it's in the chapter of courage to do the right thing. So Simon shares this story, okay? And then I'll tell you the moral. I'll tell you the story first. So Simon shares in this story that there was a plane that was flying to Florida. So it's in the United States. And it had 126 people on it, okay? And what happens is that there is fire in the cockpit. And of course, the pilot now starts to talk to the air traffic controller, the nearest air traffic controller. And he sends him a message and he says, I need to land the plane in an emergency. And of course, he has to, because there's smoke, he may not see the dials, he may not be able to operate the plane. Now, the thing is that there is a rule about planes flying in the sky. And I didn't know this, but Simon explains that there cannot be a plane 1,000 meters above, 1,000 meters below, and in a radius of 500 miles. So each plane has to fly kind of, you know, a bit far apart. And to make matters worse, what happened that day is the military were exercising their planes. And so there were additional 2 planes. So there's another plane, passenger plane, this plane that's, you know, got smoke, and 2 other planes. But what the air traffic controller did that day, because he was experienced, is he told this plane that, okay, descend 5,000 meters. So he was actually breaking the law. And this pilot descended, and then he informed all the other people that were flying their planes. He told them, look, this is what's happening. There's another plane that's going to descend, that's going to be in your zone, right? And he was able to descend the plane easily, saving those 126 people. And so the moral of the story is, we may know what's the right thing to do, but sometimes we also have to follow our intuition. And what Simon says, which is very interesting, is he says that we put people there in these positions so that we can trust the people. We cannot always trust technology. So one point I want to make is, when we have faith, it's to do with people. You wouldn't say, I have faith in my computer, I have faith in my mobile, I have faith in my printer, right? You wouldn't use the word faith for those things. You would have faith referring to people. Why? Because we trust, or we have faith that the person will do the right thing at the right time, even if it means breaking the law. Because people have a heart, people have a soul. The computer, the technology, the aeroplane dial, it doesn't have a heart. It will only do what it's programmed to do. So in this story, again, what we are saying is, we have to actively trust others. In fact, we do, right? When we fly, we have to trust the pilot. We have to trust the plane. We have to trust the people that engineer the plane, or have looked at all the, the workings of the plane to make sure that it can run. And we trust the air traffic controller, that they will tell him to fly at the right time, or to descend at the right time. So every step of the way, there is trust in everything we do. In fact, in Hindi, we say, no, umid pe tiki hui hai na dunya, umid pe tiki hui hai, which means that the world runs on hope. That yes, everything will go as we say, everything will go as per se, let's say. So this brings me actually onto the topic of God. As I said, we trust people, but we also, more than people, we have faith in God. Because somewhere deep down inside, we know that God cares. We will only trust those people who we feel care for us. And so we know deep down that God cares for us. We don't have faith in Satan. We don't have faith in the devil. We don't have faith in Ravan, right? But we have faith in God. We trust in God. And in fact, when we say, do you have faith? Often this refers to God, right? It's synonymous. Do you have faith? Or do you have faith in God? They could mean the same thing, because faith is often synonymous with God. And so again, so many stories. I'm sure all of you have personal experiences of when you have faith in God, then things just happen. And so I want to share a few of these stories. But before that, let me say that, the spiritual realm is about connecting with God through faith. You cannot connect with God if there's no faith. In fact, faith in yourself to know that you are much more than this body, that you're not limited to just this existence and this body, this costume, these skill sets. You're much more than this. You're much more powerful. And that's why when we start to use the power of thought to try and attract things in our life, we can make it happen. There's a saying, right? Where attention goes, energy flows. Where energy flows, life grows. So the more attention we give to something, then we're giving it energy. But we will not give energy unless we have faith in that, unless we really believe that that can happen. So you have to believe, and especially those who are walking this spiritual path, I want to say you have to believe that you can become a better person. You have to believe that you can shed your weaknesses. You have to believe that you can become stronger. You first have to believe. It's the acceptance of that belief. And then the rest is just smooth sailing. But the first thing we don't do is we don't accept. We always think, no, this is about somebody else. Somebody else can be the Olympic winner, or somebody else can, can win that race or competition, or somebody else will get the promotion. But we don't believe that it can be me. And so this is where I would say faith is about self-respect. Have respect in yourself. Have respect in what you're doing. Have respect in your choices. The choices you make. If you don't make a choice whilst respecting it, then you're not respecting yourself. So this is faith in the self, is knowing that, okay, right now, this is what I need to do. This is what I can do. So yeah, I want to share a few stories now of the founder of the Brahma Kumaris, Brahma Baba. And so back in the 50s and 60s, they went through a bit of a difficult patch where all his money had run out, and they didn't have much means to run on. And so the senior sisters that we have, they shared with us many stories of that time, and particularly stories of faith. So can you imagine, there are about 250 to 300 people living in a campus, and nobody knows what there's going to be for breakfast, because there's nothing in the kitchen. There's no vegetables, there's no rice, there's no flour. Everything has been used up. And in a way, it is this Brahma Baba who is responsible, because everybody is relying on him to make the decisions. But he's so carefree. So the cook comes to him in the morning and says, okay, what shall we make? And he makes up a plan. He says, okay, we are going to go for a long walk. They're going to get extra exercise. And he takes all of them on a long walk through the forest. And what do they eat? They eat the berries from the tree. They eat the fruits that are growing there around them. And by the time they come back, there is a check that has come in the 11 o'clock post. And so Baba sends the senior brother, Vishwakeshwar Baba, and he says, okay, go cash this and bring some things from the market. And yet none of the youngsters, young adults, none of them knew that there was a problem. They just thought, okay, he's taking us on an outing. That is a leap of faith, isn't it? So there's another story like this. So the story is that there was these sisters having lunch. And at that time, of course, they all kind of ate in the same hall. In fact, there was no dining tables. They were just on the floor, sitting on the floor. And so what happened is Baba is there, the senior sisters are there. And in the distance, Baba could see that the one serving the soup, the lentil, she was telling everyone, don't come again, huh? Don't come again. In other words, you cannot have seconds, okay? You cannot have seconds today. And the thing is that the elderly women, they didn't have teeth. And because they didn't have teeth, they couldn't chew the chapati. And so they wanted more dal, the lentil. And so Baba understood this. And so Baba got up from his seat. He went to his room. And then what happened? Amazing, amazing what happened. So he's in his room, he's meditating. And he's in deep meditation, okay? And then after some time, well, the sisters came with him, but after some time they told him, you know, Baba, everybody's waiting to eat. So out of respect, they were waiting for him. And then Baba said, Baba is talking to God, that it's his job, it's his responsibility, and he has to provide. So again, like 200% faith that, you know, he has to do something. Then after some time, they go, they eat, and just within an hour, there is a bullock cart that is coming up the hill towards them. This is from the back gate. Some of you know the place. And so the sister who's on guard, she says, no, no, there's nothing here, go back. And he still continues to move forward. And she says, there's nothing here. What have you come to drop? We haven't ordered anything. He said, no, no, I have to drop this off here. And she says, what is it? And he said, it's lentil. And he had bags of lentil in his bullock cart. So the sister goes running to Baba and says, there's a man here to drop some lentil. And Baba says, okay, feed him some lunch and then I'll speak to him. So then after lunch, Baba asks him, what's the story? And he says, well, I don't know. I was taking this bullock cart to the market. I have to sell these lentils. But something told me from inside that I have to drop them here. And so here I am. These are all for you. And of course, everybody was stunned that, you know, God, I mean, we will never know, right? But we believe that it's God's intervention and he's inspired somebody to help them out. There's another story where, again, Brahma Baba wanted to feed everyone jalebi. You know, jalebi is this round, there's a similar Arabic dish actually. It's like fried and then dipped in syrup, and there was no material to make jalebi. Jalebi is made on special occasions. And so Baba said in the morning, I will feed everyone jalebi later at lunch. And everybody said, but there's nothing to make it with. And then sure enough, by 11, 12 o'clock, the ingredients come, they make the jalebi and everybody eats it. There's also, I want to share stories of Dadi Janki, who lived to 104, and she was the head of the Brahma Kumaris in recent years. And I had the fortune of living with her. And Dadi Janki, I remember when we were building Global Cooperation House, and they told us initially the project was about £2 million, and we didn't have the money. I don't even think we had 100,000. But also everybody advised us, knock down that building, build again. So when you do that, you have to really dig the earth, make the foundation. There's a lot more money, right? So there was more money needed than they thought. And so every time Dadi had to pay the check, somehow that money was in the bank account. And I saw this with my own eyes. I wasn't with Brahma Baba, I didn't live with him, but I lived with Dadi Janki and I was there working in the office. So I remember these scenes. There's just enough money to pay the check to the construction company. I think it was like every 3 months we had to give them a check. And this is how Global Cooperation House got built. And many of you have seen that. And then thereafter Diamond House. So I want to say that really when we trust, when we believe, It's a very positive energy. It's a positive state of mind. Just think when you don't believe. What is the state of mind when you don't believe? Then you're so negative. But just believe. So I want to come to Dadi's relationship with me, actually. She actually believed in me. I didn't believe in myself. I didn't believe that I could write. I didn't believe that I could travel, that I could speak in front of people. I didn't, honestly, I was quite happy with a quiet life, comfortable life. But she kept encouraging, she kept pushing, she kept, nudging, insisting. And she would just tell you suddenly, okay, go there, okay, do this. In fact, I phoned her once when I was living in Istanbul. And I used to phone her every now and then. And that day I said, well, Daddy, not much going on. I'm getting a bit bored. And she said to me, why don't you write? I said, write what? She said, write articles. Send them to magazines. I said, okay. And yeah, I thought about it. And then I started. So she really planted that thought of, I still don't think I'm a writer. But, I do it because I enjoy the journey, I enjoy expressing my ideas. And then you become a writer, So many things like this. It's not that we aim to set out to do certain things, but just by believing, just by having faith, it happens. And this is where I want to come to karma. I know it's been spoken about, but I do believe that we have to trust our karma. And I had a kind of an epiphany this morning at around early morning meditation today. And really, from my experience also, I realized that the only time that we are not fearful is when we have done good karma. If there's any negative karma that we have done, if we have given the slightest sorrow to anyone, then yes, there will be fear. But if I know that my heart is clean, my mind is clean, and I'm having the best thoughts I possibly can, then you can really have faith in your karma. Then there's no need to fear. Fear comes because of guilt. But if there's no sin, there's no guilt. So have faith in your karma, and at every step, just try to do the best. Just try to choose the best. We can all be nicer people. We can all be kinder people. We can all be more loving. We can always be more extra of that than we are. And really, we know karma boomerangs back. So we will get back, right? Whatever we send out. So trust that God is on your side. Trust that God is looking after you. And so I end with the story, and then, yes, we can have a meditation. So I'm sure many of you have heard the story of the footprints. So the story of the footprints is that there was a person who was walking through his life, and what happened is when he died, he was shown the screen of his life. And he noticed that when he was going through the most difficult periods, that God had abandoned him, because he only saw one set of footprints. So he felt he was walking alone, and God had left him during those difficult times. But then when he confronted God and he said, God, you left me during these times, and God said, no, it was during those times that I carried you. So really trust that God is looking after you. There's no conspiracy against you. You know, drama means the life events, situation. Nothing is there to get to you. Everybody's trying to help you have a good life. Everybody's trying to make you happier. Just trust in this process. And then you don't create enemies. You only create friends. So Om Shanti. And Manoj Bhai, I don't know, you want me to do a meditation or take questions? I'm not sure.
Yeah, thank you so much. Actually, I don't think there are many questions because I'm amazed by your potential to tell us so many stories. Wow, that's really great. And I can't see any questions in the chat box. But I just wanted a question from, though we covered it in our Q&A, what is the difference you would say between faith and trust? Or it's almost the same thing?
Yeah, I think it's almost the same thing.
Okay.
That, like I said, I think when we say faith, it's more really with the heart, and trust is with the head. Like we trust. It's like you need some facts and figures. You know, I trust. Like I see your skill set, and I trust that you can do it. But with faith, it's more intuition. It's not. You don't need the facts and figures or statistics. So this is where I see the slight difference. But yeah, I mean, they are used interchangeably, right? Yeah.
Sure. So I would just request Sister Claudia to propose the vote of thanks. We don't have Dr. Ashok Mehta today for some reason. He's in Mount Abu actually still. So over to you, Claudia, sister. Yeah.
Om Shanti. Good morning from here. Maybe you are good evening or good afternoon. But in the name of everyone, I'm so glad that you are here with us today in Vancouver in the springtime when the cherry trees are all blowing and then sending, so many flowers all over. So I'm sending you some flowers of the cherry tree. I was thinking about to cut a little bit and show you, but I thought maybe the cherry tree would not like me to cut them, but just feel the blowing of the leaves.
I think you have them in your street, right? You have them in your, the cherry blossoms are growing in your street, right?
No, but I was planning to do. Maybe that's what you see. This one here is not a cherry tree, no?
Okay.
Yeah. So, but the cherry is the big tree, and I have a big one in the front. So it's blowing because of the wind is blowing all the way to 2 or 3 houses, and I'm blowing to you as well. So
Okay.
Thank you for being with us today.
Thank
and
you.
it was a pleasure to hear you.
Thank you. Yeah, miss Vancouver. Especially now, summertime.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking you have many places you like, but I know Vancouver is also special in your heart.
Okay, thank you, Claudia, sister. And for people who don't know, Aruna's sister was also instrumental in starting the services in Vancouver. So there you are. You are back to your abode where you started the service. Okay, so I'll
And
just quickly
Claudia
share.
was very young at that time.
Okay. Right. So I'll just quickly share the screen and do the announcements, and then we'll go in the meditation on faith with Sister Aruna. So as all of you, the byproduct of faith is, what is the sign if you're having a faithful intellect? Everyone touches on that. It's carefreeness. So our next talk will be on carefreeness, rather being carefree. So I'll take up that first. We had another speaker before, but the divine drama, I have full faith in that. So people keep coming and going because of some reasons. So we always have a speaker, a senior speaker. So this time is the first time we have Sister Maureen. All of you know that she also calls herself Morni because that's the name Dadi Janki I think gave her. Well, she'll tell us when we meet her on next Sunday. And she'll be joining from Australia. She's the coordinator there for the Yarra Valley Living Center. And followed by that, we have the workshop as usual. It will be Sister Wadi this time joining from Miami. And as all of you know that we are doing these powers as well. This is the third power now. power to tolerate. And very coincidentally, the Navratras are going on. You know, Navratras is celebrated twice in a year in India. So first, all of you all know the October, and also in the spring, summer time, it is being celebrated. So today actually is what we call the Ashtami, the 8th day, and tomorrow is the 9th day, the Navratra, and incidentally, it's Ram Navami also. Well, anyway, I'll not tell you the details. I'll spare you those details. But the power to tolerate, we are doing it on the Navratra day itself. Again, a beautiful coincidence, I must say. We never planned this, it just happens. So thanks to the divine plan. And this is our elegant calendar, which all of you can look at it. We email it to you during the email sessions which we send you all, and also we'll be send. All of you have requested for the PowerPoints, so we'll be sending also a summary of Sister Aruna's talk, all the stories, beautiful stories, and we'll be sending in the form of what we call a review material to your emails. So people who really want the PPT or the PDF copy, please just email in the chat box your email so that we can send it to you again. And these are our addresses, and all these workshops are recorded on these on this website omshanti.tk/workshops. So I'll just stop sharing, and over to Sister Aruna for the closing meditation. Yeah. Shall I play some soft music in the background?
Yeah, sure, if it doesn't clash. So yeah, just sit comfortably, everyone. Try not to cross your legs and just keep yourself open and just settle down into your seat. And I'm going to take these few moments for myself to really just reinforce my faith. So let us start with the self. Firstly, I start with self-love. I love myself for just who I am. For my strengths and my weaknesses. I don't try to be like somebody else. I don't compare. I just focus on myself. So in your mind's eye, just take a good look at yourself. Take a look at the quality of your thoughts. Take a look at the feelings in your heart. And take a look at your divine actions. And all of this three, mind, word, and action, creates I, the personality. So I choose to create the best thoughts, positive thoughts, powerful thoughts. I choose to only speak sweet words. Just say this to yourself. Just repeat after me quietly. And I choose to have powerful thoughts, sweet words, and divine actions, uplifting actions. And then I can have faith in myself. So just visualize in your mind's eye this very positive, powerful being that is now you spreading this light. Wherever you go, you are spreading the light. And when people see your light, they will begin to have faith in you. And now have faith in your life, in your drama. Have faith in the orbit of your life, which means all those that are around you. Everyone is placed perfectly in your life. The script is perfect. And I'm learning and I'm growing, I'm expanding, I'm becoming stronger. And because I see my growth, I see my evolution, I have faith in my drama. And now we turn to the one above. We have faith in him, in her, faith in God, in Allah. And I can feel that shower of light, of protection. Just visualize this fountain of light falling on you. And I have absolute faith that God is by my side. Guiding me. Nurturing me. Stay in this peace and calm. Fill yourself with this peace and calm. Shanti. Om means I am, and Shanti means at peace. I am at peace.
Thank you so much, Sister Aruna, and thank you for this. And we'll just take a quick photograph if all of you all want to have a memorable picture with Sister Aruna. You'll have to open your video cameras, make it on. For the photo, all of you all do that. Otherwise, you're all silent. Okay, Anu sister, over to you. We can't hear you. Yeah, okay, now it's
Okay, so whoever wants to be in the picture, please switch on your video. And if you have any discomfort, hesitation, please don't switch on your video. We just wanted to mention that. So if you're switching on your video, you are willing to be in the picture. So I can see mostly everyone. So thank you. Let me take it. One more, the second page. Thank you. And we have a third page. I got the picture. Thank you, Sister Aruna. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Manoj Bhai.
thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Baba.